questing inside. That room's in the conference hall. And there's a bold start to the movie.
Just another day out on Queer Patrol. Ho hum.
I'm Lieutenant Williams, a police officer attached to the Juvenile Division. I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people. That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to
convention in
another.
town.
But sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes.
Gonna
Jimmy
have
played
a good
baseball
time
all
tonight.
afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride.
Lots of young people suck a little dick to make a few extra bucks.
He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation.
Jimmy planned on
In fact, he
sucking
seemed
dick
like a real
all the
nice
way
guy.
home.
He asked Jimmy if he played
So,
baseball
how about
in the
those
park often.
LA Dodgers?
Jimmy told him they practiced 3 times a week and played a rival group on Friday afternoon. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house.
He'd oddly written down Jimmy's entire personal schedule.
When Jimmy got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat.
Jack
Then he told
Nicholson's
him he'd see
creepy
him
brother.
again, as he always drove by the park on his way home.
Pencil thin mustache should have been a red flag right there.
Every time. Hey, buddy.
Sure enough,
Let me just slide over
following day,
here
we're
on this
finished playing
bench seat
ball.
and to the
Well,
passenger
man was there
side.
waiting.
And back over to the driver's side.
They stopped at a
Ford
drive-in
pastrami
and the stranger
chicken and
treated
rye.
him to a Coke. During their conversation, he told several off-color jokes, but Jimmy had heard others before, and, well, it made him feel big to so easily win the confidence of an older person.
Nothing like earning the confidence of a middle-aged molester. Fishing for ducks.
The following Saturday, they went fishing together. By now, they were using first names. Ralph said it was more friendly.
Homosexuals are known for using first names.
Jimmy hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time.
Cock meat sandwich.
Then during lunch, Ralph showed him some pornographic pictures. Jimmy knew he shouldn't be interested, but, well, he was
tiny
curious.
thumbnails, by the
What
way.
Jimmy didn't know
Carol
was that Ralph was
Chaney,
sick.
Joan
A
Rivers, and
sickness
B.
that was not
Arthur.
visible
Nice.
like smallpox,
Can I borrow your
but no less
magnifying
dangerous and
glass so I can
contagious.
see that?
A sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual, a person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex.
He was a manly homosexual, though.
But by now, Jimmy
Those
felt
are the
a
worst
fondness
kind.
for Ralph, and they continued to go places
Like my
together.
beer cold, my
Ralph
TV
was
loud, and my
generous and took
homosexuals
Jimmy many
flaming.
interesting places and did many nice things for him.
Put it in the clown's mouth.
He bought presents and even gave him money.
Well,
But
Jimmy has
payments
to
were
put out
expected in
now.
return. You see, Jimmy hadn't
Light
recognized
caressing.
Ralph's approach soon enough. When Ralph first asked Jimmy to go fishing alone, he should have discussed it with his parents or teacher.
Mrs. Belton, is it okay if I hang out with the creepy middle-aged man with the pencil thin
Finally,
mustache?
Jimmy told his parents, and they reported it to the juvenile authorities. Ralph was arrested, and Jimmy was released on probation in the
For
custody
ass
of his
munching.
parents. But all homosexuals are not passive. Some resort to violence, as in the case of Mike Merrick. In the heat of competition, no one
Kobe
noticed the man
Bryant.
who sat and watched.
Fiery competition.
And when the game broke up and the others left, Mike decided to stay and practice a
next
little
game.
longer.
I will destroy those kids.
The stranger joined him. He was
There's
friendly.
a homosexual
and, well, it was
jump
better
shot.
than playing
Yes,
alone.
very nice form from the man in the suit.
But after a few shots, Mike realized he had already overstayed his time and suggested he better leave. The stranger told him if he'd like to stay longer, he'd be glad to drive him home.
I think
when
the
they
bow
finished.
tie should have been
Sounded
another
great
red
to Mike.
flag here.
Chance to play longer and get a ride home.
Those guys
too.
on the NBA network, they're always out there on the court with their suit and tie on. Mike's young, taut body.
Firm but yielding.
When they finished, the stranger told him he'd make a fine player someday if he got lots of practice. The companionship, the praise, the friendly attitude dispelled any
Massaging.
misgivings Mike might have had
Like
about going with a
caressing.
stranger. He probably never realized until too late that he was riding in the shadow of death. But sometime that evening, Mike Merrick traded his life for a newspaper headline.
Tiny little classified ads.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
NAMBLA convention sells out.
Denny and Jerry got the papers ready
Ass
for
munching.
Jerry's afternoon delivery.
All the
They only
rage.
casually noticed the two boys that raced by in the afternoon
The
traffic.
Tour de
And they
Omaha,
didn't pay much
Nebraska.
attention to the car that drew up shortly afterwards until the man called them over.
Slides over on the bench seat once again.
Had two boys been by
I
on
love those
bicycles?
old
The boys nodded they
60s
had.
cars.
Could they recognize them if they saw them again? Well, Denny guessed he could. Then hop in, the man said. Those are stolen bikes. Without giving it another thought, Denny got in and the car sped away. Jerry watched. He'd been told many times.
A hollow
if a friend
sinking
got in a
feeling
car with a
overwhelms
stranger,
Jerry.
to write down the license number. It didn't seem to apply, but, well, fortunately, he marked it down.
It's a very windy day in Southern California.
A gust of 20 miles an hour blowing out of the southeast.
When he delivered a paper to Denny's house, he asked his mother if they'd caught the boys that had stolen the
Mom's
bicycle.
skirt would blow up.
Denny
a
hadn't
little.
returned, so he told her the story and gave her the paper with the license
Milf-tastic.
number. Being a careful parent, she decided to call the police. Jerry supplied the
little,
necessary
seductive, that
information,
outfit
and the
she's wearing,
stranger's
yeah.
car was quickly spotted.
Looks like
It was
those
a good
Santa Ana
example
winds
of
have
how
picked up a
important
little
it
more
is
here.
to always get the license number and description of any stranger who takes a young person off.
Sir, we're looking for some stolen
no matter
bicycles.
What they tell you.
All right, you're free to go.
Public restrooms can often be a hangout for the homosexual.
Yes, I think
Bobby
they
and
just
his friends
spotted George
hadn't noticed the
Michael
man who had been in
taking
the
a leak.
restroom when they changed, and as it was late, he suggested they take the shortcut
Gay
under
truckers
the pier,
need love
but the
too.
others preferred to take the more traveled way home.
Truckers keep like a piss bucket in their truck. How does that work? Do they have a toilet back there?
2 words, depend undergarments.
No visible panty line. I like to have some can
Bobby
music when I
recognized
go
the stranger
strutting
as
on
the
the
man in
beach
the
with some
restroom.
slacks.
The shortcut under the pier didn't seem like a good idea at all.
That's such a good idea.
Someone could get hurt on that chain link fence. See a lawsuit from the
After all, it
County
won't
of
fun to
Los
stay with your
Angeles.
friends anyway. Bobby had made a wise decision. It may have saved his life. The decision
Well,
is always
time
yours,
to
and your whole future
do all
may
that
depend on
paperwork
making
and
the
write up
right
some
one. So no matter where you meet
I
a
gotta go
stranger,
do books on
be
tape.
careful
This
if
thing's
they are
driving me
too
crazy.
friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover
But they are
he
not
is mentally
normal at
ill.
all.
So keep with your group, and don't go off alone with strangers unless you have the permission of your parent or teacher.
It's such a rewarding job to come home every day after busting up some gays.
Thanks for watching Insomnia Theater Express.